I think it would have to be said that enlightenment is not complete until the field flows in devotion. Until the field of pure devotion itself is the nature, known to be the nature of being itself. It's not an experience, it's being what is. But when we initially awaken, what we awaken to is the silent infinity, silent peace. It's a silent joy and a beautiful freedom that we experience because we're no longer bound in the mind, in the me, in the feelings, in the problems. We're free from all of that. And this is beautiful, and even in a more complete awakening, when that silent infinity recognizes itself as all of this world here, including the body, mind, person. When being recognizes itself as all of this, then it's even a greater, it's a completeness of the silent and the dynamic aspect of consciousness are now known to be one thing, and this is beautiful. Beautiful. Consciousness is fully awake to itself as infinite silence and the infinite activity of all of the world and universe. But consciousness still may not be awake fully to what the real divine flow of itself really is. It knows itself as the wholeness, as the completeness. But the real aliveness of itself, how it is all of this, and how it is wholeness itself, may not be unknown yet. So there's a difference, we say, between self-realization and God realization. Self-realization is waking up to the reality of self. Self knows itself as infinity, not just as this person, as this individual me, this person that I know myself to be, but in reality it gets out of that false identification and it becomes the infinite field of pure consciousness that it is. It's the field in which all of this is contained. And it's a beautiful, beautiful awakening to that. It's not an intellectual realization. It's not a realization on the level of the feeling. It's not just a mood. It's a realization on the level of pure being itself. The self itself realizes itself. It recognizes itself as infinity. And then another step in that awakening, when that silent self, silent being, recognizes itself as all of this activity here, all of this movement. So there's a union between the subject, which is pure self, pure silent witness, and the object, which is all of these objects of perception here, including the mind, body, person. And so there's a union between subject and object. And this is a unity consciousness. It's a unity consciousness. It always was one thing, but it didn't experience that through this person until it became one. It recognized it. It remembered it. And then the only thing that is missing, really, is what is all of this in reality? What is this world? And what is this body-mind person that I am now, that I have become? What is it in reality? It is myself, yes. But what does it really experience itself to be? And so this is where another awakening takes place, another deeper realization of what this whole field of being is in reality, what it is. And this is when the objects of experience, including the mind, body, person, which are really no longer objects, they are now all subjectivity. But that connection point between the subject and the object, the connecting link between it, the connecting mechanics, the mechanics of observation may not yet be known. So this next shift goes more deeply into the mechanics of knowing, the mechanics of observation, the mechanics of being, knowing, and seeing, and becoming. The mechanics of becoming. And this is where the refined perception of being's perception of itself, deeply within itself, gets more and more exposed. And so it's the whole field itself that starts to see itself more clearly. And the field itself sees that what it is, it's not just a wholeness, but it's a wholeness that is surrendering to itself. It's a wholeness that is collapsing to itself in order to know itself. It's deeply collapsing. This is what it's doing. It's bowing down. It's surrendering to itself. And this is what this self-surrender is, what has really caused the appearance of the world and universe and person, individuality, and it is what sustains the wholeness, sustains the oneness, and both. And so this field is now seen to be a field of, it is love, it's pure love, it is pure surrender, it is pure devotion. It's a field of devotion. It's pure devotion itself. And without that devotion and what it is, it's a more than a reverence for all things. It is that all things are the surrender of self to itself. All things are the offering of self to itself. It's a very deep experience of self's experience of itself, everywhere within itself, surrendering to itself, bowing down to itself. And it's this self bowing down to itself perpetually, again and again, that creates this whole appearance of the world and universe. And so the world and the universe are the surrender of self, the product of self surrendering to itself, within itself. And so this whole world and universe is seen in the light of its true divinity that it is. It is pure and absolute divinity. Everything is divine surrender. It's divine surrender. And this is just the self seeing more into its reality of itself, of what it is in reality, what that oneness, what that wholeness is. And this is the natural state of being. It's the natural state of life. So all life everywhere is experienced by being as the flow of itself, just surrendering to itself, surrendering back to itself. And the love and joy and bliss that it is in reality is exposed to itself as being. It now knows what the true reality of itself is. It knows itself now as pure bliss. And when we say pure bliss, it includes all the deepest love, not just a joy. It's not the person that experiences bliss. It's not the person, the enlightened person, that experiences bliss. No, the enlightened person is not a person. An enlightened person is, in reality, the field of infinity. And it's that field of infinity that now really gets to see itself. It gets to experience itself as the deep surrender of itself to itself that it is everywhere within itself. And so it's deeply bowing down, it's deeply surrendering to itself. And that surrender deep surrender everywhere within self is we can say, the force of evolution that spurs the creativity that awakens the creative intelligence of being that is inherent in the nature of being itself. And so that means that all of the beautiful divine qualities, the divine laws of nature that are set in motion when the self experiences itself, surrendering within itself, all these beautiful creative impulses that are set in motion, that appear as all of the objects of experience and appear as the body and the mind and all the different qualities of personality, all the different qualities of the individual personality are seen in their cosmic status, their real, true cosmic status. And they are all divine qualities that create the entire universe is made out of these divine qualities of self that are just set in motion due to the self experiencing itself everywhere within itself simultaneously. And so these qualities of self are now qualities of the personality, qualities of the personality of Godhead, the supreme personality of Godhead, is now what becomes the dominant experience of wholeness, of oneness. It is what makes oneness up as oneness. It holds oneness together as oneness. And this is the most precious, most sublime, most divine reality of what is that is not generally seen upon initial awakening. And to some extent, yes, it's there. But the intensity of it, the intensity of the reality of what it is deepens as self gets more familiar with itself. And so this is what naturally takes place when the self experiences itself and gets completely out of the way. The individuality is completely out of the way. There's no such thing as individuality anymore. The individuality is not found. It is what is seen only is just the supreme being. The supreme being everywhere, not within anyone, but within everyone and everything, everywhere, simultaneously. It's a complete totality. It's a complete divine flow of self within itself. It is absolute divinity. And this is the true nature of your being. It's the true nature of yourself. And so everywhere there is surrender. Everywhere, everything is nothing but divine. surrender.